pulling?
What was that? You just faded out.
I was saying, what kind of lists are you pulling?
Well, one of my, for example, some of them were foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, but the list that I was talking about with the low equity list from a bachelor I was using and batch leads actually, like low equity, solely owned by individuals and things like that, like less than a year, a year or less ownership and things like that.
How come you're targeting people with less than a year ownership?
Well, that's the thing. I was looking for guidance in the group, and that's what I was told to do. So then when I do it, it's kind of like, well, why are you calling me if I just bought the house? Like, why would I want to sell it?
Yeah, I would think it's the opposite.
Exactly. Like it really didn't make sense for them, as to why I would be calling. Like, I don't know if that's like a creative, maybe finance standpoint, like to get them for subject to instead of wholesaling. But at this point, it's like I've tried both ends. Like I've done driving for dollars as well. And then it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, well, what do I do with these leads? Like,
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay. So tell me about the process of your company. Is your company just you?
Yes, actually, I'm just individually working because like anybody else right now around me in New Jersey, they're not familiar with the process. They don't know even what I'm doing. They're like, people here in New Jersey were considered, I guess, unicorn agents because there's rarely any real estate agents that even want to work with investors and that are interested in going into these distressed properties. I'm already used to it because I have a carpentry company as well. So I love anything that I could renovate. And anything that requires work, I always like. That's just my niche already. Like I'm familiar with construction, so that's what I like.
Okay, I understand. I'm asking you questions just to get a quick understanding. So, what is your end goal? You just want to flip properties? It sounds like that to me. So, what's your end goal?
Well, in the long term, I would love to have, I guess properties that I could flip, but mainly I want to be able to wholesale and get that, like, I guess, realm and aspect of things going because I feel like that's the toughest one that I'm having. And then eventually get financing, like I want to be able to at least, see what it's like to at least have fun. And it's just like either wrong or I don't have the proper support or the proper guidance. It's I would like to wholesale first and then later on get into flipping and things like that because.
Okay. And ultimately, let's say 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, do you want to own properties? I mean, what's your longer term?
That's my long-term goal, to have a portfolio of different properties that I would be able to, have.
Single family or commercial?
Well, I would love to do everything. I mean, eventually, once I get the flow or the hang of things with single family and maybe even multifamily, then I would go into like commercial.
Okay. Yeah, so that gives me a good idea as to what advise you. So you have a lot of problems. Number one, the big problem that you have is you're using batch leads. Oh, it's terrible. I mean, PropStream, terrible. So here's the first, and I'm recording this. I can send this to you so you can kind of take what I'm telling you and implement it. So if you want to be successful, don't use the same data that everybody else is using, because then you're just creating competition for yourself and you're creating competition for the people who are already doing it, because you're not the first one to pull that same list. If you're in the group, you're in sub2 group, right?
Not a student group because of Destiny. She is actually sorry about that. I'm not sure how
Okay, you cut out a bit.
to me, because I told her I was like, I'm not. Oh, can you hear me? Here.
A little bit.
You can hear me?
Yeah, barely.
Oh, that's not good. I had a sub 2 student put me in Pace Morby's group. That's why.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the sub 2 community is really cool. The problem with it is that it's too big and everybody's doing the same thing and everybody's annoying the same agents. That's the problem.
Yep.
So if you're in the sub 2 community, then you have to not do what they do, because then you're going to be doing the same stuff that like thousands of other people are doing. So here's what I recommend, and don't share this with anyone, because then you're just going to create competition for yourself.
Yeah.
And that is, so you're in New Jersey. You're in the city of New Jersey too?
No, I'm in the city of North Arlington.
Okay. And how many cities are within driving distance from you?
A lot actually, because I live up north. If I was living down south, it would be, a little bit more like farmland and spread out. But I'm like around Newark, and I know, like, for example, a lot of people flip houses over there. East Orange, Kearney is good. North Arlington, all that stuff.
And do you so how long have you been an agent?
Oh, I've been an agent for like 2 or 3 years, but like I said, every agent I've come across, they're like, oh, I don't like investors. We don't work with investors. And I'm like, that's good for me, because that just gives me more opportunity to, network with investors.
Yeah. And you're doing listings, right? You have listings and stuff?
Yeah, I somewhat, like, very rarely. Over here it's very competitive. All the houses are selling above asking price, because there's barely any inventory. There's bidding wars. It's just ridiculous.
So how many listings have you done this year?
Oh, this year I only did like 1 or 2. I don't really focus on residential.
Okay, so there's obviously several problems because of the competition. So here's what I want you to do. And I think this will fix a lot of your problems.
Okay.
You need to make a list of all the cities around you that you can drive to. And then what you need to do is you need to call each city and investigate and figure out what's the entity or the department in the city that is flagging properties for nuisance problems. So let's just say somebody there's an unsafe house, there's a boarded house, and then there's people going in there when they're not supposed to be in there because they posted a note that it's an unsafe property. So
Right.
That's going to be, each city has a code violation department. So call the code violation department and see which houses have a problem. So let's just say 5 cities. That's your goal, 5 cities. And you get very familiar with the people at the code violation. What I used to do is I used to take them donuts and all this kind of stuff. And anytime somebody, like, because they go out to properties all the time, and so they get the properties when they have an issue. So say a tree fell in a house or something like that, they'll get a code violation. So what you want to do is you want to call the city and ask them to give you the list of properties with current open cases of code violations. And before you know it, you have, depending, I would think New Jersey is very dense area, really like all the upper where you're at, there's a lot of cities that have a lot of people, a lot of houses, a lot of real estate. So you'll probably end up with like 1,000 people, at least, I would think. So that's gonna be your fastest way to your fastest deal, is to figure out which properties already have a problem. So I would recommend that. Then the other thing I would recommend is going and doing the same thing with the fire department. Because somebody gets called to, especially when you're coming into the holiday season, after say Halloween, the lights begin to be put up and people, people's houses catch on fire because somebody messed up, or there's cops being called because there's domestic abuse because of whatever. So now that might be a divorce situation, that type of thing. So get also with the fire department and ask them to provide you. This is all free information to the public under the Freedom of Information Act. And so whenever somebody gives you trouble, then you just tell them, hey, this is Freedom of Information Act. Prove to me that I'm not supposed to have this data. And so those two things right there are great. You'll get a lot of different leads all the time. And then the other thing is, do you have a VA?
I don't, but I have my brother that is, he's a veteran actually.
Oh, no. I'm a veteran too.
You said
but
VA.
a virtual assistant.
Oh, no, I don't. I wanted
Okay.
to. I'm actually inquiring with some people, but I'm very, I have to be careful with who I choose.
Okay. Well, I can connect you with somebody that I've been using for a call center I've been using for almost a decade. So what I do is and I can show you. Let me see if I have something here. Hold on. So I live in Florida, right? And so take a look at, so I know you're driving, but here's the document where I went to the county, to county office, and I requested also the probate. And you can see on this side, it should be the address. Yeah, the name of the deceased. Here's the personal representative's name. Okay. And then you see if they have a property. So over here it says homestead. So you want to go to the county and ask them. And I got pages. I have like a stack of of papers just like this. Okay. And what I do is, it's a ton of work, but I scan each one of them with like Evernote sister app, which is scannable or something like that. And it just goes page by page, and I scan it and send it to my VA. And I tell the VA, I already trained the VA what to do. So what they do is they go through each person and they look up the name and they skip trace it and then put it in a beautiful spreadsheet for us to just have. So so that's the third thing I want you to do. So I want you to go to the county and pull those 3 potential lists. So again, is the probate, also the fire department, and also the code violations. If you do those 3 things correctly, you can train your VA to do all this for you. Okay, so that you don't have to spend a lot of time doing that. And all you're doing is doing the follow-up call. So the VA will do all the legwork, and then they will cold call, skip trace, cold call, and then they'll tell you which one is interested in selling. My pipeline right now has about almost 1,000 deals right now. So my problem is I have too many deals, and these are all in Florida. So I have the opposite problem than you have, because I just get too many. I've been doing this for so long that I can't keep up. So, but that's just what I do all the time. And so the question becomes, well, why don't you slow down the pipeline? Well, the reason why you don't want to slow down the pipeline is because we're talking about pipeline maturity. All of those people, most of those people have been in my pipeline for years, and they weren't ready to sell before, but now time has passed and they're ready, and so a lot of people don't understand pipeline maturity. So a pipeline usually takes about 1 year to 2 years to mature, and then these deals consistently will start to come in. Now you can have a deal, in the first month, in the first 2 months, But the consistency you're going to see is after maybe a year of doing this consistently, going consistently to the county, pulling the lists I'm telling you about, and then getting familiar with the county. The other thing that you want to do is go through and you think to yourself, when you're at the county, just look at the different departments of the county. And for example, this county over here, this department over here handles, family law. Okay. Well, what kind of people have a family law problem that also would have real estate? So you get divorces, stuff like that. You also, let's say you go into the bankruptcy side, right? So bankruptcy, what could that be? Well, you have single family homes, but you also may have a business that owns, let's say a single tenant building or something like that. That is very untapped. I guarantee you cannot find that on batch leads because they just don't pull that data.
Wow.
Exactly. So you just have to be very, very astute and creative as to the type of people that you want to target. So eventually you want to niche down. Like, for example, right now I'm doing a lot of mobile home parks and in self-storage facilities because I just get way too many leads. And I'm like, I just need to focus on the ones that make me the most money. And so like I'm wholesaling mobile home parks and that type of thing. We're keeping some, wholesaling most, that sort of thing. And then the other thing too is that's why I asked you where you want to be in your career, because remember this, when you are targeting people who get a call, domestic violence, right? Well, let's just not mince any words. These are people that are not so high quality people. Okay. So you're spending your time building relationships with people that have just way too many problems in life. They file for bankruptcy, they're getting divorced, back payments. You can even go to the county jail and they can provide you a list of inmates. And then you just cross-reference those people to see who owns real estate. And then you can go visit. I've done this before. I've had people sign contracts in jail. I went to jail to sign a contract and to close the documents. And the deal was, sell me your house. I'll get the proceeds. Give me power of attorney. And then I'll go and I'll hire you an attorney with the proceeds of your property. And then he'll go fight for you. Something like that. So you can do stuff like that. But again, the underlying theme is these are people with major problems. These are people that most of the time you don't want to be friends with. So I noticed that myself, that my conversations were with people like this. And so they're cussing you out. They're just not pleasant to deal with. So when you call commercial properties, like I'm doing mobile home park, self-storage, some larger multifamily and stuff, then you're having to do all the work I said, but the reward is so much higher because you can find a potential seller, you can find a potential buyer because these are people with money, a potential lender for your deals, or somebody to hire you as an agent, okay, to list a property or find them more properties on the MLS. So that's what I would recommend. That's why I asked you a lot of questions so I could understand what I would do in your shoes. That's what I would do. So do have a start with single family homes because it gives you a lot of experience so that when you go into commercial, your phone skills and how you handle phone calls in stressful situations will shine through when you speak to like really big time investors, which most of them, I'll tell you a quick story. I called somebody who owns a mobile home park in Indianapolis. The guy ends up telling me that he owns a small airport in Indianapolis where NASCAR so-and-so, like he has his airplane at his airport and another famous person and this and that, like he knows the judge of the city. He knows all these different people. He's very well connected, has a ton of money, has been doing it for 50 years, on and on and on and on. And I can tell you stories like that. Like I'm really talking to very high level quality people because I decided, that I didn't want to be cussed at all the time by single family owners. You know,
Right.
so really, as you go in your career, I would recommend just do yourself a favor and kind of like trace your own path according to the connections that you want to make in real estate. Don't just, because most sub-2 students, they're all, I would say 90% of all sub-2 students, they go after single family homes. So I know what they're
Yeah.
dealing with. They're dealing with less than desirable people. And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of sharks out there. It's very cutthroat. No one is professional. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. So, but what you can do is get the experience, do a few deals, get paid for the experience, and then start transitioning into bigger deals with better quality people.
Perfect. That sounds great. My only question though, when you said about going to the county, like I've tried doing that and they don't wanna, well, I didn't bring them donuts or anything. They didn't want to share the information with me, for example. But if you're building that relationship, or if I want to go to the fire department and do that, how do I introduce myself? What am I supposed to say when I go there and I'm randomly like bringing things, to them? How do you build that relationship?
I would say before you go, I would say call
Okay.
all the cities. You call all the cities, and you'll be transferred and referred to different departments and all this kind of stuff. And just ask, hey, I need to find the department that deals with code violations. And you can even pretend that you're about to report a violation so that you can speak to the right people.
Got it. And then when I introduce myself, like, are you introducing yourself as a wholesaler? What do you say when you're like meeting people for the first?
You mean the county?
Yeah.
I don't introduce myself as anything. I'm just a citizen. They shouldn't. They don't. I don't think I've ever had that conversation with anyone at the county.
Okay, so you just gotta go and ask for the list, and you just bring them donuts.
Yeah. Once you do that,
that
you
works.
say. And the reason you bring them is hey, whenever you find like tough situations like this, like give me a call.
Yeah, for sure. Because I can tell you that probably not many people are gonna do that, but I'm not. I'm not afraid of like taking action because I've already done it. It's just that like my county is very bougie with their information. We don't have any code violations here. Like they act like they're too good for that. So I have to target other areas.
Another thing you could do is find people like me that have too many leads, and then call so you can learn the systems, and then just whenever there's a deal, then just split the profit. That to me would be easier.
Yeah, I would be open to doing that. The only thing is that right now, like for example, like I have a carpentry company too. So right now I'm actually going into a client's home to do an estimate, but I did want to go over that with you as well, if you had that opportunity or in general.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't offering myself, but yeah, I can definitely set you up.
Yeah, well, for future reference, it'd be nice to know this. Oh God.
Yeah. No. I mean, I'd be happy to help you. But the reason I said that is because I'm like, you're in New Jersey. These deals are in Florida mostly.
Oh no, I don't mind calling out of state. Like that's.
Oh, cool.
I've done that too. That's why. That's.
Okay. So we can set something up about that. That is no problem. And if we do that, I mean, I don't mind. We can do 50-50. And that way I teach you the systems and I mean, to me, it's no big deal.
Okay. That sounds good. Yeah, please, if you can help me with that. I just try I'm always, I'm a little bit running around and stuff, but I try to, as much time as I can.
What's your home situation like?
I have 2 boys, single mom.
Oh, gotcha.
I
Okay.
take them to sports like almost every single day after 6. I'm on Eastern time. I think Florida is the same time.
Same
But
time. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like me holding it down for them. And then during the daytime, I'm like, okay, how do I, put my focus there? What can I do to really like bring us what we need? Like, because I
Yeah.
need to like, how do I say it? Like get us moving forward. Are you
Hmm.
Spanish? Do you understand
Uh,
Spanish? Or
a little. I understand it, but not speak it. Um,
oh,
I'm
okay.
from South
So
Texas. More like Spanglish.
okay, yeah. So never mind. I was gonna say something, in Spanish, but because sometimes like I forget how to say certain things. But like I'm like, I need to get my like push my family forward and get us, into a better
Hmm.
situation. So
Hmm.
that's really it. I have my hands full, but at the same time, like I'm a very like ambitious and motivated person. Like with taking
Hmm.
action, I never have an issue. It's just more about learning the right way to do it. That's where I have an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fine. I don't mind teaching you. I don't mind showing you stuff. I do stay really busy. So
Okay.
when do you want to like get something going, you think?
Whenever you have time, like even if you have time, like I maybe unless this is taking on too much time, but any single time that I have like a gap of time or period of time, like I always want to be doing something productive. But that's just like my thing. Like I can't stay still. So if it were
Hmm.
up to me, I'd be like, oh, this evening. If not, then I would be like tomorrow morning. It's really whenever you tell
Gotcha.
me, I'll make the time.
Okay. Okay. Well, sounds good. Let me put something together for us that we can work
Okay.
on, a list and
Okay.
all this kind of stuff. Maybe I'll add you to my CRM. Go ahead and email me your email address or send me through Messenger or my phone, whatever you want to do, your
Okay.
email address. And I'll go ahead and
Got
figure out how to get your profile for my CRM and we can start doing some stuff. I mean, you'll be helping me. I mean, we had an assignment that was $250,000, just an assignment, a wholesale fee for one of the mobile home parks. So it's
Got
you
it.
can make good money with some of the leads that we have. So as long as we
Yeah.
work them and as long as we're consistent and we keep up with the following up with everybody, we can make pretty
Mhm.
good money. So
Perfect. Sounds good. I mean, I'm
okay.
down all the way. Like when it comes to me and learning, new things and having to like acquire the knowledge, like I'm all in.
Awesome. How did you find me, you said?
Pace Morby's group actually. I just like repost and I'm like, oh, like I reach out to people that say like, oh, I can offer you help, I can offer you guidance. Like I'm the
Oh,
one taking
gotcha.
action. I'm the one like, okay,
Oh,
are you, I
perfect.
want to send a message to see if it's true that you're gonna
Yeah.
like offer time and guidance because not
Yeah.
everybody's like that. They'll say it and then you send them a message and they'll leave you on red or they'll be like, I don't got time. And I'm like, okay, never mind. I just keep
Yeah.
pushing and pushing and trying until like I actually find somebody willing to, like guide me and help me learn the systems because not everybody
Hmm.
does it, to be honest. So that's why from the beginning I told you like I appreciate your time because not
Yeah.
everybody's willing to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, no, I'm all about networking and building things together. So that's why I'm in Pace's group, and I offer a lot of help to a lot of people. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
no, you got it. You got it. Well, get to your appointment. I will go ahead and add you to the CRM and get some stuff ready for you. And let's chat tomorrow morning. Let's see what we can do. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All
I'll
right.
be
Thank
down.
you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Talk to you
Bye
soon.
bye.
You too. Thanks.